All Points Bulletin, or APB for short, is an MMO third-person shooter developed by Realtime Worlds, the team behind the original Crackdown. It features a heavy emphasis on customization and player-versus-player combat. So, is this a glorious offspring of Grand Theft Auto and World of Warcraft, or has it turned out to be some sort of hideous mutation of the two? The game is all about PvP, as there are no NPC enemies and no story to speak of. Instead, players are asked to choose between playing as an enforcer or a criminal. In order to bring these two sides into conflict, the game doles out missions to both sides. One side gets a mission to complete a specific objective, while players on the opposing team will receive a mission to stop the other team. It provides very little in the way of immersion, variety, or story, but it does the job of creating conflict between the two factions. APB emphasizes on customization. The character creation tool is by far one of the best we've seen. You can choose your character's weight, height, muscularity, skin tone, age, as well as custom scars and tattoos, and that's just the body. Then you've got an infinitely more comprehensive facial editor, one where the jawbone alone has 10 sliders and settings associated with it. It's all very easy to use and intuitive, making it a breeze to create your own personal avatar. APB even offers very comprehensive car, clothing, and music customization systems. The actual gameplay, as in the shooting and driving, is, to be frank, pretty abysmal. It's a third-person shooter where taking cover is essential, yet there is no cover system. The enemies soak up excessive amounts of bullets before going down, and the weapon supply for the different sides is significantly favorable to the enforcers. The driving tries to be more realistic and not arcadey, yet they appear to be completely outside the realm of physics. That's not to say it doesn't have its charms. The on-foot navigation and light platforming works excellently. The aiming works perfectly after a little mouse sensitivity tuning, and mowing down pedestrians with your SUV is always fun. APB also focuses heavily on the cooperative experience. You'll often find yourself at the mercy of the opposing players, only to see your teammate come barreling down the road at 100 miles an hour, mowing down your opposition like the vermin they are. That, however, hinges on the matchmaking system, which really only works if there are enough equal-level characters in one instance. If not, it simply tosses two random teams together, often resulting in unjustifiably unfair matchups. The city of San Pedro is split up into 3 districts, and then those districts are split up into identical copies, holding 100 players in each instance. Gamers who have played Age of Conan will be familiar with this system. It's a bit disappointing they needed to split up each server into multiple instances, but understandable, considering the graphical fidelity of the game. The social district is where players go to relax, converse, and customize. The financial district is usually filled with lower-level players and has a very easy and introductory layout, while the waterfront district is usually filled with high-level players and may get confusing to newcomers. The two action districts look basically the same, and there's very little originality in the environmental design. But you'll have to go out of your way to notice the flaws since most of the time you're too busy driving or shooting. There is little to no downtime in this game. You'll constantly get the opportunity to engage in battle by helping other players complete their objectives. At any given time, you may get called in for backup to stop the opposing team. It's all optional, of course, but it provides you with a constant stream of missions. Sadly, though, the missions themselves are very generic. They usually boil down to picking up something at one end of the map and bringing it to the other, with a slight variation in how you obtain the object in the first place. In addition to the missions, there are usually a few players on the map with bounties on their heads. These provide a nice challenge as everyone on the map is gunning for them at the same time. APB is a game with a lot of potential. The customization is one of the best in the business. The co-op can get really fun and the graphics are smooth and minimalistic. But as of right now, APB just has too many minor issues that result in a major headache. The matchmaking rarely works. The weapon balance is atrocious. It's riddled with bugs and bad design choices. It's almost a prerequisite that you play APB with friends. Otherwise, you'll likely either have an incredibly boring or an incredibly frustrating experience. If you can see past the bugs and the pile of minor issues, then give APB a spin. Everyone else should wait for some major patches and maybe test the waters again in a couple of months. But for right now, don't bother.